It's your boy King here, and with anticipation coming up the world, here is the conversation of the hour. We're going to discuss a few worlds team. I think I'm going to try and make this a bit shorter of a video, so that way you guys can just get a little bit of information as we go through all the teams at Worlds. I do want to give a big thank you to Molecule Lol. You can follow them at Molecule Lol. They created these images that I'm going to be using that makes it just a lot easier just to kind of run through some of the teams, and this way we will be able to run through it. This is the Worlds 2021, the teams that have made it. Here are the stat sheets that we're just going to run through. This is just going to be like an overview of who to watch, why they're good, what things you can expect from the different teams, and we'll just go on from there. So starting off, start with Team Edward Gaming EDG coming in with Flandre, Gigi, Scout, Viper, and Mako. So a lot of these names you'll remember, especially Scout. Scout used to be Faker's backup. Flandre has been in the LPL for forever and a day. Viper was on that Griffin team with Chovy and Tarzan and the top laners. Well, they had the drama with the top lane where they had the top laner that the coach wanted and top laner that the team wanted. So this team is definitely stacked. At the end of the day, you got Scout, who was the finals MVP. They are the favorite, I would say, between them and Damwon Gaming are probably 1 and 2 seed if this was a bracket style tournament. They just come with that overall firepower, great team fighting, great laning from the mid and the mid and bot lane. So that's something to be mindful of that may happen when they meet up against other teams. Staying in the LPL, we have the 2 years ago world champions, Fun plus Phoenix. It's basically the same exact team except for the addition of Naguri. Naguri, you'll remember, is from the championship Damwon team. He ended up switching teams, going to China, cashing out big and winning big. His performance only dipped a little bit. He's not in the full LCK retirement home. A lot of times people cash out when they go to China and they kind of chill and relax unless your name is Rookie. The Shy is a different story, of course, because the Shy only ever played professionally in China, but Rookie actually made the transition to the game. Tien, I believe, was the MVP of that Worlds when they made their championship one. FPX is the betting favorite. I believe we do have some stats sites from League of what is it called? Sports betting Dime, which has the different odds of champions that they are champions of teams that they think are going to do really, really well when it comes to the World Championship. But people to watch out for. The super mid, the super carry himself, Doingby, back in 2019 when he won the World Championship, he was probably bottom 5 or bottom 10, or yeah, bottom 5 mid laners, not 5 of the whole tournament, but out of the top 10 mid laners, he was in that 6 to 10 category, wherever you wanted to rank him. But he has improved dramatically over these last couple of years. He's one of the best laners in China and in the LPL, and it will be fun because I think this world is shaping up to be one of the best mid lane worlds that we've seen in a very long time. LNG Esports. LNG had a miracle run when it came to the finals, or not the finals, but came to the playoffs. LNG knocked out all of the teams that made it to Worlds from the LPL last year. They knocked out they knocked out IG. They knocked out who else? I'm blanking because of course they didn't make it this year. But as you can see, all of these LPL teams are teams that didn't make it last year. So we almost have a fresh batch of teams compared to last year. But Suning, they knocked out Suning. It's going to be a fun show. They weren't able to clutch out the finals, but they played valiantly. They fought hard and they won their way into the world's tournament. They have uh, I've heard it pronounced Allah and I've heard it's pronounced Ale, Tarzan, Icon, Light, and Iwandi. Probably the people to watch out for in this again. Tarzan from that Griffin team, amazing jungler, hyper aggressive. Reminds me of uh, Dandy. I'd say he's probably the closest thing to like a Dandy, where it's constant invade, constant pressure. Works really in tandem with Iwandi for setting up plays and getting Icon to a point where they can carry. Royal, never give up. Now this is Uzi's old team. As for some of you that don't know, Uzi made the choice to retire. He has crippling like arthritis in his hands, arms, and he basically has to just try to rehabilitate the lower half of his body. He has difficulty walking and things. He's come out in interviews and said that, and that I believe his doctor says he had the hands of a 40-year-old, and Uzi's like 23. Because his age was kind of a questionable thing when he was playing in all those worlds those many years ago. But this team, Royal never give up. We have Xiaohu, Wei, Cryan, Gala, and Ming. You will know Xiaohu. You'll know them as I believe the MSI champions. This is the same team that won MSI. They're very dominant. There's no questions asked. China is sending for probably this might be one of the most stacked the most stacked region to be sent, considering again that they knocked out all of the champions or all the teams that made it last year and have a new slew of teams coming in. So this is going to be exciting coming from the LPL. Moving over to the LCK, we have Damwon Kia. I'm going to say my personal favorite to win Korea or to win the Worlds, even though my favorite team, SKT. I've been an SKT fan since I was playing StarCraft back in like 98, okay? So I'm just gonna always be a StarCraft fan or StarCraft. Well, I will be a StarCraft fan. I was just watching the GSL last night. But I will always be an SKT or T1 now. They're known as T1 fan, and I hope that they do well. But that's not what we're talking about, and we will get to them shortly because we're talking about Damwon Kia. Damwon Kia, the only person that is any different who was on SKT is Khan. Khan is the new addition to the top lane. Initially, Khan was only basically like a Scion one trick for this team. He was a Scion one trick. He was the super tank. Sometimes they put him on Gnar, but he really came out into his own in the later half of the season when they started putting him on carries such as Jace. I believe he played a few Irelia games. Strong top lane carry. He's finally in it to win it and back at it. We have, of course, Canyon, who makes every jungle gap a jungle canyon. It's just the way the man plays. If not the best. He's like if Tarzan is Dandy, Canyon is like Cacao 3.0. He's so good at when it comes to mapping out and setting up plays. And then you have by far, I will say, the second best mid laner in the world currently. I'll give that to Showmaker. I think Showmaker's a great. This team is stacked. This team is absolutely stacked. Their weakest link is their bot lane, and their bot lane is still 10 times better than the majority of other bot lanes that are going to be showing up to the world's tournament. So that's saying something, that when your worst player is in the top 5 in every other respect, this is going to make for a great world championship. I'm very excited. Hopefully they don't drop the ball. They are trying to two-peat or repeat their championship from last year. On next, we'll talk about Gen G. Gen G, I don't know about Gen G coming to World. So I guess I should say the overall other thing is I think Damwon Kia is really good. I think China overall is really good. I think the LCK struggling. I think the LCK in general, I've always been a Korea fanboy or whatever, but they are definitely struggling this season. I hope that they're able to pull it out. I don't think Gen G was the best candidate during this tournament, but when you look at the rest of the field of Korea, like there wasn't much other that was going to be ended showing up. I don't want to crap on Gen G. I do think that they're a solid team. I just do not think that they're on the same caliber as like a Damwon or like any of the Chinese teams. Like they'll still be competitive. They'll still take wins, and it's going to be a competitive tournament. So it's going to be really, really good. But going through, we have Rascal in top lane, Clid, who also formerly was on SKT, BDD, who for a short stint could have been considered one of the best mid laners. Ruler, I think Ruler, am I going to say it? I think it's between Ruler and Viper are probably the most devastating AD carries with a lead. I think if you give Ruler or Viper a lead in this game, they will without a doubt destroy um the rest of the field. They'll just take over the game. They're very, very confident in life, and life showed very, very confident and dominant plays. This team truly plays through Ruler. He has the highest damage percentage of their team, I believe, because BDD is able to facilitate such a effective, prominent playstyle. It opens up the map when you have to focus. It's very similar to an old school SKT formula where you would have Faker just balling out of his mind and Piglet be able or Bang be able to just do what they have to do because you have to focus the carry. And when you have two carries, it makes it kind of difficult. Hanwha Life Esports. Now this is the tale of, this is the only reason why anyone should show up to watching the not the prelims, but the play-in stages, because Hanwha Life will, with Chovy. Now, when I said Showmaker was the second best mid laner in the game, Chovy, by far, in a way, the best mid laner currently playing the game, right? And I don't say that with any like reservation. Like, I know last year Knight was super hyped going in, and then he kind of dropped the ball. But I think that was a lot of stuff, a lot more issues in team composition and things that they were like playing around, things that they were planning. But Chovy is on another level last year and this year. He's probably been the best mid laner for like 2 years. And he finally made it to Worlds. Why is Pool 1 for play-ins the only has 4 teams? Oh, so China and Korea get 4 teams because they have been so dominant, they've won so much, and that's just the way Riot decided to make the rules. They get 4 teams. China gets 4 teams. LCK gets 4 teams. EU gets 3 teams. NA gets 3 teams, and then the emerging regions get like 1 team apiece or 2. Yeah, like 1 team apiece. But that's just the way they have it set up. But I think the real star of this, whether they win, lose, or just end up getting knocked out early, it's just going to be entertaining to watch Chovy play against, like, I don't know, like the PCS teams in Brazil and Japan and teams of that nature, because I'm putting money that he's going to in at least 1 or 2 games, he's going to be up 100 CS at like 15 minutes. So tune in. It should be pretty hot. No, China's 4th, Korea and NA 3rd, PCS 2nd, and the pool have 6 teams. I'm not sure what you mean. You'd have I'm just not sure. Also, doing this live, twitch.tv/call_me_king here on twitch.tv/call_me_king. Feel free to drop a follow, and if you're enjoying this video, feel free to drop a like, comment what you think, or who you think, or what region. We'll just say, what region do you think is going to win Worlds this year? That'll be really, really exciting to know. Going to my team, my boys. It's a lot different looking, but bada boom bop pow, T1, or as I still even will refer to them as SKT. But they have Kana, Owner, Faker, Gumeyushi, and Kiria. We have Faker, one of the greatest players of all time. People, Gretzky, Jordan, Faker. He's in that echelon when it comes to League of Legends. The interesting part about this variation of SKT is they can basically swap in and out junglers and AD carries. I would say the low-key secret of this team comes down to Keria. A lot of people don't know, but Keria is basically Keria is very similar to what's the dude's name over on the support for G2? Oh my goodness. How am I blanking on his name? Mickey? Is Mickey the support for G2? Where they're can get to rank 1 in the mid lane, has the mechanics of a mid laner, can outplay anyone on the server. Yeah, Mickey. Can now play. Miffy is the coach of C9 now. But anyway, can now play anybody on the server, but is the support for a pro team. That's Carrier. When you see some of the plays that Carrier makes, you know this man has hands. So I'm excited. The difference between Gumayushi and Teddy came in for the majority of the playoffs. They were able to almost win, but sadly they got beaten by Damwon Gaming. So um, it's going to be very very interesting to watch this team perform, especially whether I don't know the number of subs that are allowed to go to Worlds with the pandemic and everything still happening. They're actually moving it to Iceland, so that'll be interesting to watch. But let's go SKT. SKT win. We're going over to EU. We are now looking at Fnatic with their rookie top laner, Adam, who showed a lot of promise this season. Whippo, their former top laner who moved into the jungle. Niski, who was over in North America for C9, but is now playing for Fnatic and has done wonderfully on this team. They actually ended up winning the championship this season. No, they didn't. Sorry. Mad Lions won. They went to the finals and ended up losing the Mad Lions, but in their run they ended up beating they knocked G2 out of Worlds. They beat Rogue. So it was just a good run for Fnatic. Upset in Hylissang. Hilly actually showed up and showed off on a Pyke pick that effectively dismantled G2. G2 at some point should have banned Pyke, but they didn't. Not sure if Adam can play Pyke or if they can do the whole Pyke flex thing like G2 did prior, but Fnatic did show that they were intelligent enough to utilize their gold leagues and play in a manner that helped their team, not make it to Worlds, I guess. Mad Lions might be the first. I'll say Mad Lion might be the first European team since that broken Fnatic run that I can say they're in the. I'll put Mad Lions in the top 4 at Worlds. So if I'm saying like Damwon, I'm gonna say Damwon, Fun Plus Phoenix, or EDG. Mad Lions. Yeah, I'll say those 4. I think those are probably the top 4 teams at World. And it's crazy because I don't see a European team or a North American team or any emerging region or wildcard regions winning Worlds. But Mad Lions plays really well, and they've been playing really, really well. I think they just outclass their region. Again, it's similar to the whole, like, with Damwon Kia being, like, 3 steps higher than the rest of Korea. Mad Lions, in a way, this season was, again, 3 steps higher than the rest of EU. So I think it was very interesting. They brought on Armut, who was the top laner for the Turkish team, I believe, last year, and he did fantastically at Worlds. And Mad Lions was smart enough to go, yeah, we want that guy. Eloya, who is the rookie, I think his rookie season was Spring Split. Fantastic, young, aggressive, proactive jungler. Humanoid, finally coming into his own. Karzi and Kaiser bot lane is actually insane. I want to see how Karzi and Kaiser play into like a Korean bot lane or a LPL bot lane, just because they lane really, really well. They lane efficiently, and at the end of the day, like the bottom half of the map ends up being the carry. You have stable, you have your rock in Armut, and Aloya is your wild card, but in a good way. He normally turns up and is able to make a ton of plays and is able to help out the team in ways that help get them advantages and get them ahead. I'm really excited to see how Mad Lions does at this run at Worlds. Rogue, wonderful team, did well. Little worried about them. They showed that they may not have the best mental fortitude as a team. Not just like, oh, this player bad, but like as a team, they all just kind of decided like, oh, I guess we lost here, and they were just ready to and like pull it back in. So I'm hoping that Rogue is able to get it together. Odwamne, one of my favorite top laners. I think he's. I mean, I was following him when he first came into the league and was playing like super tanks, and now he's playing the super carry. Inspired's wonderful. I think Inspired might be the saving grace of the team. Larson, great player. Hansama and Trimby. I think Hansama is a great AD carry. Like I said, this team, yes, I think G2 should be here in place of Rogue, but that's not the way it played out. G2 needed to win. They needed to be here. Rogue is here. I think Rogue will still make waves, but I only worry about their mental when it comes to playing out the game, especially against teams that they may perceive are better than them. Or if they get behind in games and they just like shut down, then you start seeing them like slowly lose the game. That'll be upsetting. Galaxtare Esports. This is the what is it? Is this the Taiwanese region? Anyway, they have Crazy Mojito, Bululu, Alive, and Zergsting. This team, of course, emerging region. We hope that they do well. As you can see, they do predominantly carry through Alive, and they're able to play. How should I do it? They don't play in a style. They play similar to a style that's like prominent, but they play a lot of hard engaged bot lanes, and hard engaged top. So they're going to be a team that's going to try and be aggressive and fight. So just be mindful that sometimes that doesn't work against better teams, just because those teams are able to what's the word I'm looking for? Capitalize on mistakes and things like that. So we're just gonna hope that they play their darndest, and we'll see how it works out for them. Going to NA, we have 100 Thieves. We have Someday, finally got a championship. So proud and happy for that man. Big fan of him back when he was over in Korea. He's been at it for so long. He's probably has one of the longest careers of next to like Faker, you know what I mean? He's been playing for forever and a day. Finally was able to win a championship in another region. Closure, great pickup for 100 Thieves. The thing I like about the 100 Thieves team is for a while they looked like they were lost, and they were finally able to get it together and close out and build a team that they were able to win a championship with. And I think they're sending this team the Worlds in a way that's actually going to allow them to be dominant, have a dominant run at Worlds. Do I think they're going to go super far? Not really, but I'm hopeful just because I think this might be the best offering for NA for this Worlds. Cloud9, the man, the myth, legend, Perks himself, carrying another team to a world championship. So some might say, well, that was G2's problem. They got rid of Perks, or Carlos didn't pay enough or do enough to keep Perks around. I believe the issue was Perks wanted to go back to playing mid lane. He didn't want to play AD carry anymore, which makes sense. He's dominant. He's wonderful and a magnificent, great mid laner. But they had all the draw when it came to getting Perks to come to Cloud9. Perks was able to team up, lock in with Miffy and Sven. I was about to call him Niels, or Niles. I think that was his name before he changed it to Sven. But this season, you were able to see Blabber actually. I think the meta fit Blabber in a way where he was able to say, because Blabber is a very aggressive, like, I just want to fight all day. I just want to jump in and beat everybody up. And this meta was very much so, yeah, let's just jump in and fight. Let's skirmish all the time. Let's team fight all the time. And let's use those advantages that we get from early team fight wins and early skirmishes to push through. I think Fudge is probably like the unsung hero of this team. He's probably going to surprise a lot of top laners, especially like Korean top laners and Korean tops. I'll just keep there because he lanes really, really efficiently. He knows how to utilize his gold value. I've not been monitoring or keeping up with their solo queue climbs this season. I will jump into that and maybe do a video about that. If you want to catch those videos or catch any other information that I end up kicking out, you know what to do. Hit the doobly doos down below. Team Liquid. Liquid is a tale that of paid by Steve but saved by Thorin. Like, no cap, right? So for those of you who don't know, for the majority of the season, Team Liquid effectively had the top laner benched. And I'll say Alfari is probably, if not the best, the second best top laner in North America. Some would say that someday is a better top laner, some would just say Alfari is, but that's not really here or there. The fact of the matter is that for for a good stint of the tournament run for the LCS, Alfari was not playing for the team. And then late into the game, they were able to get Santorin in. So this team as a core, I think it's fantastic. I think they're going to be able to work wonders, work together. Let's see, punch for punch, they have a world champion. They have Core JJ on their team. I'm never going to doubt Core with his ability to play make. Tactical is a solid 80 carry, sturdy. Jensen is a mid lane, is like a great mid lane threat when it comes to playing an international, just because he doesn't play like a standard NA mid, because of course he's from Europe. Now they have Alfari. Effectively, this team is going to be amazing. First round exists or group, hopefully. I think I know they'll make it out. I just, the question is, will they make it out of groups? That's it. I mean, with four LPL teams and 4 LCK teams, it gets scary. But it's not to say that, like, I mean, Cloud9 knocked out excuse me. What was the team name? Now I'm blanking because I sneezed, and I think I have another sneeze coming up. But anyway, we've seen North America upset teams. We've seen Kaboom upset European teams. So it's not to say that they're down and they're out. Infinity Esports. This has Bugox, Solid Snake, Cody, White Lotus, and Ackerman. These teams, I mean, a lot of these players you'll remember, especially from MSI this year. No, How Long Life and LG have to play out of play-ins, and C9 had the best chance of not making it. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have like good Korean teams that and Chinese teams that have made it, and they have more slots. They have more spots to fill. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out, and which teams make it out and which teams upset, and whether the game is still skewed towards the East being the better hemisphere when it comes to League of Legends. Beyond Gaming, Liang, Usha, Mawan, Doggo, and Kino. I think the only returner that people will remember is Doggo, but this is another notable team, the PCS. So the hope is that they have improved and they win a little harder, play a little better, play through Doggo. He's their primary carry. Their team plays a very macro-centric game, if I remember correctly. But I think that was their downfall, where they played a little too slowly. And depends, styles make matches. So we'll just have to see how that plays out for them. Detonation Focus Me, which is the Japanese team. I think we still have to give Japan 2 more years before they're like super competitive. But each year they get better and better. So I'm excited. I think that Detonation Focus Me. They pretty much have the same core team. Udapon, Arya, Eevee. These guys have been playing with each other for as long as I can remember for Detonation Focus Me, that have been showing up to professional series during these World Championship international events is what I want to say. So I'm excited. I think they have a very, very good chance of winning a decent number of games, maybe surprising some of the lower bracket teams. We have Peace, which is I'm not gonna front. I know nothing about this team. I know absolutely nothing about this team. So this one I didn't research. I didn't watch any of their VODs. I didn't watch any of their videos. I just hope they do well and don't get too embarrassed at the world stage. Or maybe we get like an Albus Knox situation where they just have a complete run of the table and they do some things that no one could have ever expected because like me, the teams just don't prep for them or just think they're going to be bad. So PSG Talon, if you guys remember this team, wonderful, heartwarming story from last year where they didn't have two of their players and they were able to make it out into the group stage, and it was this great, storyline that they had. But and then they were still able to pick up some wins, but of course they ended up losing to the better teams. But returning, they have Hanabi, River, Maple, Mister. I'm always at Worlds, Maple, Unify, and Kai Wing. I think this team is still going to do well, especially in that lower bracket, in that playing section. And I look forward to seeing what they do. I hope that they're able to crush it and do well. Like I said, they had a great story last season. They still play through Unified. Maple is, again, I'm not leaving Worlds. I believe, oh, and C9 have the best, oh yeah, we already read that. Wait, PSG isn't in play-ins? That's a question. So you're asking me. I'm saying I hope they do well in the play-ins, unless they're not in the play-ins, because they would be. Oh, they aren't. Oh, well then that's wonderful. Hooray, huzzah! Well then that could also be bad because then they could just be running smack dab right into some very very difficult competition. But I think they're built for it. This is another team similar to Detonation Focus Me. I think a year or two more and they're just gonna be like primed and ready to be playing. I think they're gonna end up like overtaking Brazil and in North America shortly. I think Brazil's gonna take over North America or South America. South American team CBLoL and all them are gonna take over NA when it comes to spot wise because those teams just keep on getting better and better, and North America just seems to be like stagnating. I don't know if that has to do with like a player base issue or mentality or focus. Because we sure enough have the money, but these other teams are just eating our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wait. I will get back to that one because that's at the end. I'm going to give the shout out again. We have Red Cannons. This is that CBLoL. Normally from this region you're used to seeing BRTT, but we have the man Titan in the spot. I mean, he really showed up this season. Was able to dethrone, the at least the eye of the Latin world when it came to League of Legends. And I mean, they really have they have time to still continue to get better. I'm expecting them just like last season, just like MSI, that this team is going to continue to do well and hopefully improve. And next year after, we're talking about them again, like I said, being better than North America and all those other teams. And then last but not least, left this because I knew my main man Race Crown would be here. Yeah, boys, UOL Unicorns of Loves. What we doing? I mean, it's unicorns. UOL, UOL. There's always the hope that Unicorns of Love outperforms EU in that spicy revenge of not keeping them in when what's it called, franchising occurred. So that's, I mean, we can all hope again for Unicorns of Love. No Man's back at it again. Hopefully has another stellar crushing year, and is able to just lead the team into victory. Again, wrapping up, I just wanted to say a big thank you. Can I even scroll to make this bigger? Yes, I can. Look at that. Make sure you follow. This is a picture. I did follow him. This is just a screenshot from before I followed him. But this is the person that did all of the images. Please make sure you give Molecule LOL a follow as well. They put all the stats. You can go through. You can pause this. You can go to the Twitter if you want to like the tweet or save the tweet. That's what I did, so then that way I could use it to make this video. But it just helps. It's very, very exciting for Worlds. I think Worlds is going to be interesting this season. We'll be doing a few shows and episodes over on the Ion Esports channel as well as this one, which is the Comic King or Kickin with King channel. If you enjoyed this, if I was helpful at all, I will do more research on the emerging regions, wildcard regions, just because, I mean, I feel like I should know just a wee bit more about something like Peace Gaming or Peace or whatever. I know nothing about them. Excuse me. But all in all, I do think this Worlds is going to stack up to be really, really entertaining. I think the meta, when it comes to pro play, is pretty decent. And with the changes on 11, 18, and 19, should be pretty lit. Other than that, I appreciate you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you, what is it? Press like if you liked it, subs if you loved it. I think that's Dave 2D. But all jokes aside, I appreciate you. If you can, make sure you go to your local SPCA, walk your local doggos and pet your cats. If there's a veteran center near you, just try to donate some time to give back to those that gave to us. And always remember to be kind to each other. Nights out!